Hello everyone and welcome back to the Angels franchise. I appreciate all of your support on the first two episodes and all the feedback I have gotten. It seems pretty split in the comment section. A lot of you guys want to trade Trout, just completely blow it up and start fresh with the young talent we have on the team like Zach Neto, and some of you are adamant that we build around Trout. Now you can see we're only 8 games into the season. He is already starting to regress. He is 33, so this is going to be a constant thing. We are currently seeing the best version of Mike Trout we're probably ever going to see in the series. He's only going to get worse from here. It also obviously is not helping that he's just not playing particularly well to start the season. I did some research on the Trout situation in real life, and it seems incredibly unlikely that he would be traded. First of all, he says that he wants to try and win with the only team he has ever known. Secondly, given his age and recent injury history, as well as the contract that he has, it just seems unlikely that a team would heavily pursue a guy like Trout at this point. Maybe 5 years ago, but not really these days, because Trout is costing $35.5 million per year until 2030. But thank you guys so much for the feedback. Keep it coming. You Angels fans are going to be a big help in this series in how we rebuild the team. So it's as much your rebuild as it is mine. I'm absolutely going to be listening to feedback all the time. So we are to April 6th. I think in this episode, we're going to get through the end of April at the very least, maybe even a touch into the month of May. The Angels kind of have a brutal opening schedule, only 3 home games versus 15 road games halfway through the month of April. We have a pretty long home stretch at the beginning of May, but even still, first 18 games, 15 of those being on the road kind of sucks. We are 3-5 to start the year, and it is officially the first time to set scouting assignments. Ordinarily, I would go through and rehire my own scouts, but the Angels actually have pretty good scouts just as default. So I think I'm going to leave it be for this year, and then maybe we'll go a different way next season. There are some pretty glaring needs on this roster. I think the biggest one being starting pitcher, because there are some young guys down here like Caden Dana, like George Klassen. They just don't have that high of potential. So while they probably could be rotational pieces in the future, I'm trying to find the ace of the future. The good news for the Angels is they do have the 2nd overall pick, so we should be able to get one of the best players in this class. So now it is about getting some prospects on the board. Here's the current top guys in the draft class. Obviously, no one has actually been scouted yet, but the top guy is Sergio Castillo, a starting pitcher. In MLB The Show 24, it often seemed like it was for the best to go after 18-year-olds right out of high school. So that makes Casey Sanchez maybe a little bit more intriguing if that remains true in MLB The Show 25. The good news for us, though, is that there does appear to be a decent chunk of good starting pitching talent at the top of the board. So here's what I have done for now. I think it's obvious to everyone that starting pitching is really our biggest need, as well as relievers, and we'll look at them a little bit further down the road. But for now, we're going pretty much all in on pitching. So I'm having my best discovery scout look for pitchers internationally, and then the other 2 are scouting what appear to be the top 2 regions near the top of the board for starting pitching, which was East and International. We will look at other positions of need in the future as well. I think third base is one of the more obvious ones that we might need in the future, but for now we are all in on pitching. So with that out of the way, let's sim through the last game of this Cleveland series, and we do lose 4-8. We are also keeping an eye out for when Zach Neto is fully healthy and can return to the lineup. And speak of the devil, it popped up as soon as I simulated the next day. We'll place him on the bench because I want to go clean up the lineup for myself. Kevin Newman played pretty admirably in place of Neto during the start of this season, batting at .281, and I would honestly allow him to continue to start elsewhere, but the main issue is that I kind of need him coming off the bench because Moncada can't play anywhere other than third, and Neto can't play anywhere other than short. So I need Newman as more of a utility guy, being that he can play second, third, and short, to just be a true backup. I was also just thinking about Travis d'Arnaud and how it might be for the best to try to trade him as early as possible. He's 36. He's going to regress super rapidly. I didn't really understand the Angels picking him up to begin with just because they do already have Logan O'Hoppe. But now looking at the catcher position for the Angels, I'm realizing how terrible it is past the MLB level guys. So in looking for trades for d'Arnaud, I think the Cubs are a team that could potentially be interested. Catcher is a position they are relatively weak at, and they are likely trying to make a playoff push this year and win that division. So these are the prospects we could get in return. Most of them are going to be C potential just because d'Arnaud does not garner that much respect as a trade target. Obviously, he's better than their current catcher, but not by much, and he is 36. Another team I think could be interested is the Padres. They're trying to compete with the Dodgers, of course, year after year, and I think they could potentially be interested in d'Arnaud. But let me know what you think is fair in terms of value in return for d'Arnaud, or if we're kind of just stuck with them for the year. If you're wondering who we'd get to replace d'Arnaud just to be the backup, I'm thinking probably James McCann. Just sign him to be a true backup. Similar situation, but obviously we can get him for a lot cheaper, as we can do basically just $800K for a year, and he would likely accept this. So this would save us a little over $5 million. But now it is time for the season debut of one of the building blocks of this baseball team. That's Zach Neto making his debut here against the Rays on the season. The Rays are playing in Tropicana Field here in MLB The Show 25. They don't have the field that they're playing at in real life in the game, so it kind of just is what it is. A quick note from YoLag in the future, the game audio is going to be a little bit loud in this one. I thought it was super quiet in episode 2, but obviously I overcorrected. So it's a little bit loud in this one, too much crowd noise, but I think I've got it dialed in for the next episode. Apologies for the inconvenience. Hopefully you guys will still enjoy the episode. Joe Boyle is the man on the mound for the Rays, and let's get this one underway. This is a player lock one with Zach Neto. So the way this series is going to work is that every once in a while we'll play full games, and a lot of the time we'll do some player lock stuff. We'll jump in here and there. Here is Neto's first opportunity. Still a 0-0 ball game. Right down the middle, and I missed. Neto, of course, is probably the best building block on this roster. I think definitely projects out as an all-star every single year, as he'll hit this one at the third baseman. And that is an easy play made for his first out on the season. Jump forward now to the top of the fourth. It's 2-1 Angels as they have themselves a lead.
Ball inside.
I think outside of Neto, the biggest building pieces are probably Shanuel and Ohapi. I think around these three, we could probably build a contender even without Trout. Neto has worked a 3-1 count. Moniak on deck. He had a solo shot earlier, one of the 2 runs for the Angels. That was a heater that was pretty easy to hit, but we're late on it. 99 miles per hour. The payoff pitch on its way. And a swing and a miss on what should have been a walk. Trout hits a solo homer, and a number of other runs come across. It's 6-1 Angels for the next at bat for the shortstop. My only concern with Neto is the fact that he does only play shortstop. I do prefer an infielder that can kind of move around, but he has no secondary positions listed. It is shortstop and shortstop only. Not that that's particularly a problem, as that one fails to get down. Neto is a good fielder, so there's really no issue with him being the shortstop. It's just that if in the future we need to move him around, it's just not going to be possible with the way it is currently. He's obviously going to be the shortstop of the future, so it's not that big of a concern that he can't really play other things, as we're the cutoff man here and we're kind of in the wrong spot. I don't know why it brought us in to be a cutoff man. Interesting play. 9-4 Angels here in the top of the 7th. Can we get a base knock with Neto here in his debut? That's what we're looking for. Rodriguez on the mound. That one is right down the middle, but we're early on it. We have worked the count full with Zach. Can I lay off a bad pitch this time? Remains to be seen. I can indeed.
Take your base.
All 4 take your base, Zach Neto. Now he is on the base path. Not particularly slow either, Neto, with the 67 speed. Pretty above average, as Moniak is the man at the plate, and this one will not find its way to the grass. Brings up Luis Rengifo. He's actually playing really well to start the season. There was a comment that suggested he could kind of be like a late bloomer in the series, where he is, you know, a bit older than your maybe traditional, building block, but could still be one. I mean, those happen from time to time. You get these guys that are a little bit older. And it's not like Renjifo's crazy old either. He's 27 or 28. I'll take a look in a second. So he's still got some time to grow. This is well struck from Neto, and it's going to get down for extra bases for Zach Neto. He will stop at second with a stand-up double. So he draws a walk, and then he gets some extra bases for his first hit on the season. Welcome back, Zach Neto. I expect you'll be a huge part of this team this season and in the years to come. Jump forward a batter. It's runners on second and third for Renjifo. See if he can bring Neto around. Pitch on its way. This is grounded, and there is no double play due to the double from Moniak. And Neto will come around to score. The first run scored for the young shortstop, and it is 10-4. Angels well on their way to a victory. So a nice win over the Rays, another team kind of in a similar situation to the Angels, maybe on the verge of a full rebuild. Angels grabbed the victory here, one they very much needed after the slow start to the year. Happy to have Zach Neto back. Here's the box score for the other Angels players. 3 hits for Logan O'Hoppe. He's starting to turn it on. Trout did also get a hit and a walk. Nolan Shonewell with a hit. It was actually a home run, his second one on the season. Good for 3 RBIs, and he walked a couple times. And Tyler Anderson gets the win. 5 strikeouts, only 4 earned runs. Angels drop the second game against the Rays, so for the rubber match, we'll go ahead and player lock with Neto one more time, I think. So both teams looking for a series win today in the third game of the 3-game series. Shootout in the first one, low scoring affair in the second. Let's see what Zach Neto and the Angels offense can do today. So we're actually starting out in the field as it's bases loaded for the Rays. And this one grounded, and should be a very easy play for Neto right to Renjifo at second. So no problem, Soriano gets out of that one, but did have himself in an early pickle. Soriano reads to me as one of those pitchers that I think I'm going to be able to play pretty well with if I'm user controlling him, but he's going to simulate terribly because of the low walk per 9. In even that inning, only 1 hit was allowed, meaning the rest of those runners reached via other means, likely walks, knowing Soriano's walk rate. So I'm a little bit concerned about his future with the team being that most of the series is simulated, and the gameplay is really only ever going to be once in a while with him. Neto had a slider that was right down the middle, and he pops it into foul territory, and he is gone. That one should have been crushed. Top of the 5th, still 0-0, so for what it's worth with Soriano, he's playing pretty well as Neto hits this one nicely right to the left fielder. Now top 6, Trout with an RBI single, Shonewell with an RBI single, and it's 2-0 Angels. As Neto strikes another one pretty well, but it's right to the center fielder this time. As he's making decent contact, but he's hitting him right at people. Now this player lock is flying by. Bases loaded, only 1 gone for Yandy Diaz now. This one grounded to second. Renjifo to Neto and over to first. Got the double play to get out of the inning with no runs coming across. Neto crushes this one the opposite way. That had a crack off the bat, and it's into the seats. The first home run of the season for Zach Neto comes against the Rays in his series debut. In only his 3rd game on the season, Neto with a 3-run shot breaks this one open for the Angels, and it's 5-0 as we head into the late portion of this one, as the Rays have added a couple runs of their own. So back within 3, Silseth, the man on the mound. This one possibly going to be able to turn 2. Flip from Renjifo, Neto back the other way, not in time, as I believe that one was just a straight up tie, which goes to the runner. But on the fielder's choice, we get the man at second. So the Angels take the series over the Rays, which is a team that we maybe should be beating, especially with a guy like Neto back in the lineup. Honestly, this Angels roster really, I think, can compete with Neto, with Trout, with Shonewell if he's playing well, with O'Hoppe. We've got some good pieces on the team. And I think that we are a team that could maybe this year make a bit of a playoff push. We're like just on the outside looking in, I think, with the current roster construction. So the Angels improved to 5-7. And now let's get some simulating done. Let's do a little bit more scouting as we have a series against the Astros now. Lose first game 5-12, and we lose the second game 1-7. So it's not a great start against a division rival. But now it's another day to do some scouting. So let's take a look at the prospect list, see how things have changed. As Sergio Castillo, still the top guy on our board. He's 20% scouted. He does look like a pretty solid player. Doesn't have the velocity, break, or control really that I think you would want, but he's gonna have good strikeout per 9 in the future, good walks per 9. Appears very balanced. Ben Carmona has moved up our draft rank from the MLB draft rank of 5, and he again is very well balanced, but with a bit more velo than Castillo. Martin Ordonez has also moved up our board quite a bit. Another just super balanced pitcher. He throws lefty. That's something to keep in mind as well, is that we'll probably want a good mix of lefties and righties. So we're going to keep things basically exactly the same as they were, but our discovery scout is going to be trying to find pitchers in the East now rather than internationally. If we look at the prospect list, I think the guy that we're probably eyeing the most right now is Ben Carmona. Sergio Castillo is the draft rank 1, so presumably he's going to go first overall, a pick that is held by the Nationals. And then Carmona would be available and probably the next best pitcher at our pick at number 2. But a lot of scouting still left to do, obviously. We will finalize that plan. So let's see if Houston can manage to sweep us, as Tyler Anderson has broken his hand. Well, that's not ideal, as we lose one of our starting pitchers. We'll add him to the 15-day. We do actually end up getting the win as the team kind of rallies around the injured pitcher. So if you're wondering what we're going to do about the starting situation, I kind of already wanted to give Jack Kahanowicz a chance to start anyway. He is a starting pitcher. He has 78 stamina, and he's honestly just not a terrible player. His potential really sucks, and that's the thing that is going to hurt him the most. He's already regressing despite the fact that he's only 24, just because the potential is so bad. But might as well see what he can do. He's been really good for us out of the bullpen in the early stages of the year. 16 innings pitched, 1.69 ERA, and a 0.94 whip. I mean, that's incredible. Obviously limited sample size, but might as well give him the chance to start. And then we'll probably need to bring up another reliever. The man we're going to bring up is the veteran Dakota Hudson, just to kind of sit in the bullpen. Being that Kahanowicz is now starting, we need a guy that's more of a long reliever in the bullpen. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and sim to the next scouting assignment. Boy, it is not a good week for the Angels. They have now lost 5 straight and fall to 6-14. Taylor Ward still playing incredibly well. Everyone else is not. Neto is playing well, coming off of the injury, batting a 293 with a 370 OBP. Trout is below 200 right now on the batting average. What this tells me is that we need to move around the lineup. Clearly, this lineup is not working for anyone not named Taylor Ward. Being that Taylor is absolutely frying right now, I want him leading off. If he's getting on base the most, which it looks like he is right now with the 405 OBP, we're putting him in the leadoff spot. So it's a little weird, but I think this is going to be the new lineup against righties. Ward is going to lead off, just being as hot as he is. I think he needs to be at the top of the order right now. Trout, we're going to bump up from 3rd to 2nd. We're going to bring Neto up to 3rd. He has 68 batting clutch, which is better than his 49 contact against righties. So the theory here is that if Ward and Trout can get on base, he'd have a runner in scoring position. Neto's clutch would then be better than his contact. So Lair will stay 4th. I don't like the fact that his clutch is bad, but it's the same as his contact, and of course he has good power. Shanuel will be 5th. Renjifo will be 6th. Ohapi, Moncada, and Moniak to round out the bottom 3. So hopefully with a shift in the lineup, it'll help things out a little bit. And again, a little bit of a weird lineup against lefties, but let me give you the breakdown. Taylor Ward, elite contact against lefties. Neto, elite contact against lefties. I think they make a lot of sense as the 1 and the 2. I think the weird one here that might stand out to a lot of people is Joe Adell, at the 3. Well, he has some of the best batting clutch on the team at 77. That's going to replace that 59 contact rating. And then he still has the 90 power. I think him as the 3-hole hitter actually makes a lot of sense given the batting clutch. If Neto and Ward can just continue to get on base consistently, Adell's going to be in situations where that batting clutch is going to come up instead of the contact a lot of the time. It does mean that we're heavy on the righties to start the lineup, and really the lineup in general is heavy on righties. But also against a lefty, it does kind of just make sense to have more righties, doesn't it? Trout will bat 4th, and then you'll have Soler 5th, Rengifo, who does have good batting clutch, at 6th. His contact against lefties is better, and he was initially leading off, but obviously he's been struggling this year. So we're bumping him down to 6th. He's kind of, in a sense, kind of leading off the bottom half of the order. Who knows if this is going to work, but obviously something needed to change after the 5-game losing streak and after the whole team has been cold other than Ward and Neto. Another week down, another scouting report, and the more we look at Ben Carmona, the more we appear to like him, as he has jumped to the Angels draft rank 1, and this is his current updated player card. 77 to 97 potential, and he does look just like a really well-rounded pitcher. A guy that we have just discovered out of the East is James Ingebrigtsen. Incredible name, 6'5", 18-year-old out of North Carolina, has high stamina, looks to have decent hits per 9 in the future. He went from unknown and not ranked to our draft rank 21. So definitely a guy we're going to want to keep an eye on. Another one is Rob Carpenter, went from not ranked to 35th. Could potentially be a 2nd round pick for us, but these not ranked guys, a lot of times you can get them super late if other teams haven't discovered them yet. Obviously want to learn more about Rob Carpenter. We're going to go ahead and just get Carmona's scouting basically out of the way. I think he is currently my favorite to be that number 2 overall pick. I do want to make sure that he is actually going to have decent potential though, as we really just don't want to start off the series by drafting a bust. Otherwise, we're keeping it the same. Scouting the East, scouting internationally, and then soon enough, I think we'll know who we have pitching wise, and we'll start to scout elsewhere, some relievers, some third basemen, some catchers probably. And coming off of the 5-game losing streak and the new lineups, I think we're gonna go ahead and play this game against San Francisco. Welcome everybody to Angels Stadium. The Angels taking on the Giants today. A battle of California teams, one sitting at 11 and 10, the other 6 and 14 on a 5-game losing streak. It is Yusei Kikuchi on the mound today for the Angels. And we are underway with what looks to be a really good base hit for Tyler Fitzgerald, an automatic double, 1 pitch in, and it's already not looking great. This one is popped to left field. Ward underneath it. Runner will not be able to advance. 1 gone in the inning. And this is going to be another base knock as Trout cuts it off. But immediately the Giants are going to get on the board. Lamont Wade Jr. getting the first run to come around. This one is well struck, but a little bit underneath it, as Moniak is there, and that is out number 2. So Matt Chapman to the plate. Can we get out of this one with only the 1 run coming across? 2-2 pitch on its way. And that's another one that is a decent bit of contact. I'm not loving that first inning from Yusei Kikuchi. He obviously allows the run, but pretty much everyone was hitting the ball pretty well. They were seeing it pretty well. Not a great start for the Angels pitcher. Jordan Hicks on the mound for the Giants. Let's see if this Angels offense can get it going. Taylor Ward, best player so far this season, leads us off. Ward will go down on strikes to a really good sweeper. And now we're to Zach Neto with already 2 gone in the inning. And he will swing through a sinker. Neto batting nearly 300, but only a 154 against righties right now. See if he can improve on that today. As no, he can't. Swings and misses at the splitter. And from here on out for this one, we're going to be focusing on the offense. So we're going to sim the innings for Kikuchi and whoever the pitcher may be later in the game, and focus on trying to get this offense going. Jorge Soler now at the plate as we're in the bottom of the 2nd. And that was a pitch to hit. Little early on it. 110 exit velo for Jorge Soler. Soler gets another one to hit and pushes it through the gap in the middle. So Soler will lead us off with a single here in the second. And Luis Rengifo demoted from being the main leadoff guy, as he's going to pop this one sky high and basically right to the left fielder. Logan O'Hoppe really struggling to start the season, as is the offense in general, but he's batting a sub 200 right now. Obviously, I kind of expect everyone to work things out and kind of get them going. It is very, very early still in this season, so can't be too concerned about a 188, as I'm sure that will improve. But right now, O'Hoppe is grounding into a textbook 6-4-3 double play. 2-0 Giants is now in the bottom of the third. They get another run to come across with the top of their order. Meanwhile, we can't even get a base hit other than the Soler one. The Giants, by the way, are on a 7-game win streak. So we've lost 5 in a row. They've won 7. So kind of the opposite sides of the planet right now for each of these two teams. One red hot, one ice cold. Full count for Mickey Moniak. Pitch on its way and fights it off. Mickey Moniak with a solo homer, no doubt about that one. Works the count back full and he gets one to hit, and he doesn't waste the opportunity. The Angels will get on the board with a Mickey Moniak solo shot, his second one on the season. It was a bit of a hanging breaking ball, but it was honestly decently placed, as here's Ryan Noda playing for Shawnuel today, but he flies out to center. Back to the top of the order for the Angels. Now with a run on the board, has to feel a little bit nicer. Taylor Ward swings and misses on a sweeper that was right down the middle. So a really good inning for Kikuchi. Doesn't allow a run. And Mike Trout leading us off here. Grounder to third, but they were playing pretty tight against the line, and Trout will not beat out the throw. His struggles continue. Zach Neto to the plate. He will also softly ground to third, and that's going to be 2 gone very easily in the inning. Soler with a single. One of the few guys not struggling. He's not playing super well, but just kind of average for Soler. But he will easily ground out to the other corner. So to the bottom of the 5th we go. Still 2-1. Kikuchi having a pretty decent outing.
2-1.
Rengifo gets a good one to hit and gets it past the first baseman, eats up the right fielder, but Rengifo will stay at first with a leadoff single. And now Logan O'Hoppe doing basically the exact same thing. Hits a single through the right side of the infield as well. 2 on, nobody out, as Moncada comes to the plate.
2-1.
Moncada has a hanging curve, pops it way up. Easily played. As what is going on here? Nearly got to advance a runner there, as the throw goes all the way to the catcher. Mickey Moniak homered his last time up. Can he do it again? No, but he will get a base hit through the infield and into center. Runner rounding third, gets home, and he is safe. Rengifo scores from second, and Moniak with a 2-hit day, a 2 RBI day, and it is all knotted up. San Francisco 2, LA 2. Ryan Noda gets one to hit, and he's going to push this into the gap. It is cut off by the center fielder, as the runner will stay at third, but we do score a third run. Ryan Noda, a good piece of hitting as well. And they're going to make a pitching change after that. Jordan Hicks will be removed from this one as the Halos get it going offensively. Back to the top of the order, it's Taylor Ward. So only 1 gone in the inning. And Ward, opposite field into the gap. That one will get through. It may score the runner from first. As he's rounding third, it hits the cutoff man, and he is safe at the plate. Just in time is Noda. And the rally continues for the Angels as Taylor Ward gets one the opposite way into the right center gap. 5-2 Angels as the offense starts to get it going. Can Trout follow suit? The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. A good curveball on the corner. Michael Trout deep to left center field and out of here. 427 off the bat of Mike Trout. 2 more runs across for the Angels in this high-scoring inning. Finally, I make a good swing with Mike Trout, and it is out of here. 7-2 Angels, still only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. That was a curveball at the upper right portion of the zone. I mean, most hitters are going to absolutely crush that, and Trout did. Neto looking to get in on the action. Still only 1 gone in the inning. He fouls off a fastball. Neto hits one fairly well, but it looks like this one's going to be chased down, and it is. Out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. Jorge Soler has a hanging sweeper. This is a moonshot. Does it have enough to get out? It does! Jorge Soler with a homer as well. And the Angels are firing on all cylinders here in the 5th. Jorge Soler, his team-leading 7th of the year. They're going to make another pitching change here, and I can't say that I blame him. Beck was just leaving him hanging over the plate. So maybe the lineup change is what we needed, although maybe that was just bad pitching. But Rengifo is going to get another base hit. We are not done here in the bottom of the 5th. Swing and a miss from Logan O'Hoppe on a hanging splitter once again. And finally, the inning ends. 7 runs come across for the Angels in the bottom of the 5th, and they have a 6-run lead over the Giants. Kikuchi gets through the top of the 6th, no problem, and we're back to the offense with the Angels. Can they continue the run of form here in the bottom of the 6th? As that one is blasted to right, but Moncada not able to get the power on it that he needs. Mickey Moniak, 2 for 2 with a couple RBIs in this one. Somehow he cannot make contact with that splitter. Ryan Noda strikes one pretty well, but not quite well enough. 3 up, 3 down go the Angels in the 6th. So I've just been quick managing the top halves of the innings to get through the pitching and sort of do almost like a player lock with just the offense. Kikuchi has now gotten through 6 innings, and he's a little bit tired, but he's been cooking. Let's see how he does here in the 7th. This will definitely be his last inning of work. So he gets one to ground out, and 3 up, 3 down for Kikuchi. Back to the offense we go. Taylor Ward still with a 6-run lead are the Angels. Taylor Ward gonna pop this one sky high to left center. That's out number 1. So here is Mike Trout, homering his last time up, looking for more. Pretty well struck from Trout, but unfortunately for him, it's right at the shortstop. There's a 106 exit velo grounder. As Neto, opposite field, pretty well hit. Pretty deep for Zach Neto, deep enough to get out of here. Home run for Neto, and the Angels will extend their lead even a bit further as the home runs are working today for the Halos. Bottom of the 7th now, it is 9-2 Los Angeles. And a swing and a miss on the slider for Soler will end the inning, but another solo shot. This time it's Zach Neto. And the Angels are firmly in control of this one. So we'll bring Chase Silseth into this one. A really good outing for Kikuchi. Hopefully Silseth can keep it clean, though he walks one as I say that. But then gets through the inning with pretty much no problem. Bottom 8, 1 more inning of offense for the Angels, hopefully, unless somehow we absolutely blow it. Top 9. 1 gone as we bring Logan O'Hoppe to the plate. Looks at a slider outside to work it full. O'Hoppe, a good piece of hitting. This is well struck to left center. It's not over the fence, but it does hit the wall, and that's a stand-up double for the catcher, Logan O'Hoppe. Can we bring a 10th run around? Time for Moncada to see if he can manage that. That one misses in the dirt, but O'Hoppe dives back to second. Moncada to right. That one is easily tracked down. Mickey Moniak, what else do you have for us, young man? Couple RBIs on the day, 2 for 3. Can you bring around O'Hoppe to give us double digits on the day?
That's a ball.
Ooh, I thought that one was going to be picked out of the air by the first baseman, but no, Moniak going to get his third ribby of the day. Mickey Moniak brings around Logan O'Hoppe, a 100-mile-per-hour exit velo for the center fielder, and it gets past the first baseman. It is 10-2, double digits for the Angels, just making it even easier for whoever's cleaning up the 9th inning. So we head to the top of the 9th. It's going to be Chase Silseth to just clean this one up. Surely we don't allow 8 runs to tie it in the top of the 9th. A ground out from Chapman, a walk of Encarnacion, a walk of Flores. Let's go ahead and make a pitching change. Bring in Hans Kraus, fielder's choice, and they're down to their final out. Let's step in for it. 1-1 count to Casey Schmidt. Hans Kraus on to finish this one off. Good slider is fouled off. Swing and a miss on a circle change that was way inside. Almost hit him in the knees, but he swung at it anyway. And that is out number 3 in the 9th. The Angels take the victory. They snap the 5-game losing streak as the Bats get it going in the 5th inning. Yusei Kikuchi will also get his first win of the season thanks to only allowing 2 runs and his offense finally doing some work for him. Take a look at the box score. It was just a clinic put on by the Angels. 3 hits for Moniak, 2 for Soler and Hifo and O'Hoppe. Moncada the only one unable to get a hit on the day, but this is an offensive outing this team absolutely needed to get things back on track. So now let's go ahead and get through the rest of this month of April. We'll have one more scouting report to look at, and then the episode will end there. So let's simulate through the rest of this week. We've got a double-A injury we're not that worried about. And there we go. A number of wins there. 4 of the last 5 are W's for the Angels. So looking a lot better since the change to the lineup. Although we did get 1-0 shutout against Minnesota. So we now have Ben Carmona fully scouted, 81 to 93 potential, 58 to 70 overall, a left-handed pitcher with good velo, not great control, however, decent pitch break, and pretty decent everything else, at least projected out in the future. Walks per 9 is a little low. That's a touch concerning. Everything else is honestly pretty solid. He sort of seems like a guy that you just can't really miss on. He's just going to be a good quality pick and will likely be a good quality rotational piece in the future. And if we look at other guys, Ingebrigtsen continues to climb our board, now up to 7th on the Angels draft rank, still not ranked on the MLB board. An 18-year-old pitcher from North Carolina, much more of a project for sure, but he could have that higher top end potential. Will likely start at a much lower overall. Sergio Castillo is up to 40% scouted. He is still our 3rd ranked prospect. Again, a guy I just really don't think you could go wrong with. The only concerning thing with him really is the home runs per 9. Everything else is pretty solid. The walks per 9 being really good is excellent. At least in years past, prospects could sometimes get ruined by the fact that their walks per 9 was so bad that they were just allowing so many base runners and so many runs because of it that they just wouldn't see the development they needed. So that would likely not be an issue with Castillo, but it also does look like he has a chance for even worse potential than Carmona. I think I do prefer Ben Carmona at this point, but Castillo is still one I have to consider. I am very happy to see, though, that James Ingebrigtsen is so high on our board and not ranked in the MLB. He's a guy that we could get in later rounds, hopefully. And now we are finally going to start scouting a position other than starting pitcher. We've got one of our scouts looking at third baseman in the Central region, which appears to be the best region for third baseman in this draft class. And we're still kind of just going in on starting pitchers East and International for probably at least one more week. And now let's go ahead and sim this series against Minnesota and the 2-game set against Seattle. And then we'll start off the next episode against Detroit at the beginning of May. Another 0-1 loss against the Twins. So back-to-back games where the Bats don't get it going at all. And now in Seattle, we lose 8-7, 3 losses in a row. And then we do win 8-1 against Seattle in the second game. So we're 11-18, 7 games below 500, not ideal. And we are officially into the month of May. So we take a look at player statistics through the first full month of the season. Jorge Soler leading us in RBIs with 16 and in home runs with 7. Trout is up to 6 home runs, and he does have 14 RBIs for what it's worth, considering how bad of a start it has been, only batting the 191. Leader in batting average is Travis d'Arnaud at a 385, though he only has 13 at-bats. With guys with more at-bats, it's Taylor Ward at 342. Neto's batting a 286 since his return. Moniak has caught fire. He's brought his average all the way up to 274. Has been really, really good in the past week and a half or so. Rengifo has been improving up to 264. So it does appear that the lineup change has probably helped things out a little bit. And I think the construction is a little bit better as well. And here's a look at the standings through the month of April. The Rangers 19-12 lead the way in the AL West. Astros only a half game back. Mariners also close. And then the Angels and the Athletics, of course, the bottom two here, to absolutely nobody's surprise. In the wild card, it's currently led by the Blue Jays and the Astros. The Mariners are there as well. In the AL East, the Red Sox are 20-12. They lead the way. Slow start for the Yankees at 13-18, and the Orioles also 13-18. Also, maybe a surprising start from the Blue Jays, who maybe weren't projected to be one of the top teams in the American League East this year. And then in the Central, it's the Guardians, but only just above 500. This division in general off to a very slow start. Although the White Sox being 14-16 is maybe a little bit better than people would have anticipated. And then on to the NL, the Braves lead the way in the East at 17-14, but only 3 games back is the bottom of the division, and that's the Mets at 14-17. In the NL Central, the Reds pulling away 22-9 on the season. The Cardinals, the bottom of the barrel there. And in the West, it's the Diamondbacks at 19-11, and my poor Rockies down here at 10-20. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. Again, I am reading all of your comments, so if you have feedback and things you want to see happen in the series, please just let me know. I'm certain to read it, and I will do things based on a lot of your guys' feedback. In the next episode, we'll look to right the ship with the Angels and maybe go on a little bit of a win streak, or at least win a couple of series on this home stretch, starting with a 4-game set against Detroit. Shout out as always to the channel members. You guys are the reason I continue to make these videos. And if you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next episode, where the Angels start a long homestand.